greatest franchise, or franchise I like the most. Probably the most difficult question to answer. There's so many. Back to the Future, the Avengers, Rocky, there's so many that I love. But I think for me has to be good old Godfather trilogy. Love a gangster film. I think it teaches you many of the morals in life. Snitches end up in ditches. Crime really does pay if you're good at it. And if you do something really bad, as long as you do it with the best of intentions, it's kind of okay. So for me, Godfather trilogy, absolutely love it. And it made me want to be, a gangster's wife as well. Just didn't happen.
Or greatest franchise. I'm going to cheat here. And while we're kind of on a comic book theme, going to go with the MCU films. So all of the phases up to the one that just ended. We should have started the next phase with Black Widow. I'm still hurt about that, but we'll see you soon, Natasha. So the MCU films, I'm kind of cheating a little bit because it's not like a particular singular franchise. It encompasses all of the MCU films up to this point, but it was just such an audacious thing to get the films to interweave a story that spanned a decade plus, and to it was a cinematic masterpiece. And all of the films were great. Some were terrible. Thor 2, Iron Man 2 and 3 weren't great. Guardians 2 wasn't fantastic. There were some missteps along the way for sure, but there were some really high points. Captain America Winter Soldier, Captain America Civil War, among others. Ant-Man, first Guardians of the Galaxy, first Iron Man. So and just the fact that they were able to come to a satisfying conclusion. We laughed along the way over the years, we cried. It was just brilliant, fantastic franchise, series of films. I don't think it will ever be done again in cinematic history on that scale. So it was a part of history. Culminated in the highest grossing film of all time in Avengers Endgame, and I think it deserves its spot as the greatest franchise of all time.
My favourite movie franchise is going to be Harry Potter. I like the Wizarding World, Expelliarmus and all of that stuff, but it's going to be Harry Potter. I really liked that film.
I've never watched it.
You're going to leave my house after we finish filming this.
My favourite movie series, without a second thought, has to be Lord of the Rings. We'll qualify here, not The Hobbit. Let's pretend The Hobbit doesn't exist. That was a dark time for Tolkien fans. But no, Lord of the Rings. I'm a massive Tolkien nerd. I read the books over and over and over again. And the films are a genuinely fantastic adaptation. They are perfect for a fan. They are packed full of great performances, great characters, just iconic scenes. It's really got everything. It'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry. Amazing battles, and it's full of so many stirring speeches as well. Theoden's speech before the Battle of Pelennor Fields to the Rohirrim is probably one of the greatest movie moments of all time. I will never tire of watching Lord of the Rings.
I would have to go again with one that's sort of from my childhood, from my younger days, and it's Back to the Future. Marty McFly and Doc, can't beat it. Classic films, and all of them are good. There's not one bad one, but like when you've got so many franchises like Fast and Furious, yes, I do love them, but when you've got, I think they're planning to make 15 or something, is it? It's like just know when to stop sometimes. Or we could go with Die Hard, which is also another classic, but I'm going to say Back to the Future, as they're all good films, and can't beat a bit of Michael J. Fox.
I'm going to be really cheeky and say my favourite film franchise is Tom Cruise. Now, that doesn't answer the question at all, but I truly believe that Tom Cruise is a franchise in itself. What can I say? He does his own stunts, he's a brilliant producer, he's a brilliant actor. I've been following Tom Cruise since, again, I was 6 years old or something, and I was watching Risky Business. Oh, not even Risky Business. So The Outsiders, that was the first thing. Then there was like Risky Business, obviously Top Gun, Days of Thunder. I loved him in An Interview with a Vampire. Like, Rain Man. Yeah. So like all of those kind of movies. Basically, if Tom Cruise is in it, I'm going to see it. And again, if we have to say specific franchises, it would have to be Mission Impossibles. Does all his own stunts, excellent storylines, comedy, thriller, action. Love it.
Franchise, easy one, this one. Star Wars. We are a big Star Wars house. My eldest gets called Mini Vader because he is 100% on the dark side. I think in every room you will find some kind of Star Wars Lego, Star Wars fancy dress, something to do with Star Wars. Yeah, it's everything. The originals obviously more than the more Disney-fied ones, but come on, who doesn't want to see a big fight in space and spaceships and Wookiees and Ewoks and droids and lightsabers? Everybody loves Star Wars.
So for me to enjoy a series or franchise and keep going, it has to really be able to capture me. Now the films that have done that is the Oceans films, so Oceans 11, 12 and 13, and then most recently in 2018 Oceans 8 with another brilliantly strong female cast. Now there's quite a gap between the movies, and sometimes when that happens it might never have the same impact that they did when they kind of went together, but this one I think still just smashed it when it came out in 2018. So the Money Heist films, they have brilliant acting, humour, just people at the top of their game in the films. I love the fraud, theft, the planning and outcome of all the films. And again, this is another film that I could watch and I just want to be in the film. I think all the films flow really well in terms of the storylines, the connections between people. I also find it very easy to follow the plot. So those people who know me, they know that I never understand a film and nobody ever wants to sit next to me in the cinema because I ask so many questions.
To me, it comes down to two. Mission Impossible or Indiana Jones. And this time I think I'm going to go for Indiana Jones. Fun fact, did you know that Indiana, the name that George Lucas and Steven Spielberg came up with, is actually the name of George Lucas's dog. So Harrison Ford's character, Indiana Jones, was actually named after George Lucas's dog. And they actually pay homage to this in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade when he says to his dad, played by Sean Connery, "Can't believe you named me after the dog." Anyway, Indiana Jones. The 3 films. You notice I said 3 and I didn't say 4 because we don't class the 4th one as an Indiana Jones movie. You've got Raiders of the Lost Ark. I think that was 1981 that came out. Temple of Doom, which I think was 84. And Last Crusade, I'm not going to lie to you, can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, those 3 movies, excellent. Harrison Ford playing the titular character of Indiana Jones. Now, I first saw this when I was a little kid, and I actually saw Temple of Doom first. I didn't know about Raiders of the Lost Ark. I saw Temple of Doom, then I saw Raiders, then I saw The Last Crusade. A little fact as well, another little fact, did you know that Temple of Doom actually based before Raiders of the Lost Ark? So it's actually Temple of Doom, Raiders of the Lost Ark, then The Last Crusade. So although I never meant to watch it in that order, I actually did watch it in the correct order, if that makes sense. Anyway, Indiana Jones, what can I say? This professor, this nerd like myself, if I must say, and then he's got this other side to him, this adventurer, the man in a fedora, the man with the whip, the man that gets the ladies. He's just an icon, okay? And the way that Harrison Ford plays him, amazing. Personally, my favourite of the 3 was Last Crusade, then Raiders of the Lost Ark, then Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom was quite a bit different, but great nonetheless. The 3rd one, the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. The 4th one, I should say, we don't class that one as an Indiana Jones movie, so we can forget about that. But absolutely great movies. George Lucas, Steven Spielberg involved in all 3 of them. It's one for the ages. You've got to watch it. You've got to watch them, and you've got to love them. Okay, it's Indiana Jones. It's indie. What can I say? So yeah, favourite franchise, it's got to be Indiana Jones.
Favourite franchise, easy peasy, it's Aliens all day long. Alien was groundbreaking and a masterpiece and well beyond its time. Aliens is even better, and it's one of the few sequels that I think is better than the first. That's my favourite all-time movie. Alien 3 was just as groundbreaking and just as amazing for me. I do think they got a bit silly now with Alien versus Predator and a few of the other offshoots and everything else, but they're still ultimately very watchable movies, and I just love the franchise.